Hi there, Paul and Fiona. Here's the back end of your new website, and I'm just going to give you a demonstration. So when you log in to the back end, which you've already got the login, so there's no need for me to start from the front, you will be in the dashboard here. So I always say, look at this here. This is the most important thing, updates. And it's the one way of keeping your site up to date and running correctly. So you'll always have translations at the bottom, theme, plugins, and then WordPress here. So I always say start from the bottom and work your way up. Generally speaking, you'll have a Divi theme to update there every 1 to 2 weeks, something like that, and then you'll have plugins every week, definitely. So all you do is you click that, hit update, and then just sit back whilst that does the update. Don't be tempted to go and do anything else while that's doing. Once that's done, if you've got other updates there, you can then go and look at what those are. There isn't actually any other oh, it's referring to the SEO. So it isn't an update, it's just telling you that if you wanted to, you could upgrade to the premium level. I don't believe that there's any need to do that, and even speaking to an SEO expert about Yoast Premium, she even says you don't need to do that. You haven't got a blog, so there's no need for you to worry about that. And then the next one is media, and you've got your library. It's up to you how you want to view it. I personally prefer this view, but if you wanted to look at it in line format, then you can do. I just find it's easier if I can see it like this. And so you can see all the images on there. If ever you need to know the size of an image that you're looking at, a good place to look at is here. But generally speaking, I would always say, go and look at the front end. Anything that's going full width, you need that to be 1920 on the longest edge. And these images here, for consistency, I know that you might do weird shapes in the studio. I would always keep these as 1200 by 800. And if you've got any square images on the site, then I would make these 1080 by 1080. So after media library comes pages. Now you can do one of two things with regards to your site. Most of this will work on the front end. However, there's some pages that you can't alter certain elements. So your about page, your cake smash, contact, family gallery. So all of those will be on the front end. Privacy, terms and conditions, they are back end only. And if it says it's a Divi page next to it, it can be edited on the front end. But if it hasn't got it, then it can't. So if, for argument's sake, you wanted to edit your front page, you could leave this here exactly like this, and then just have one more page open, which would be your front home page, or whichever page you wanted to edit. And you'll see this here, which says Enable Visual Builder. If you click Enable Visual Builder, this then allows you to work on the front end, which is super easy. And the only area you are interested in is grey. Do not touch green, do not touch blue. So grey. Right. And if you hover, just close that button back out again. There we go. Hover over that and you'll see the cog, and then that'll come back up like this. You can, if you want to, so you know which image is in the slide, click onto it, and then down at the very bottom where the admin label is, you can write here. Maybe in scales. And to change that image, it's actually in the background. So you would click on the cog, find the image that you want to replace it with, and we're going to replace it with exactly the same image that was there. And then once the image is selected, go upload image, save, 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 save. And you will have seen there was a line underneath that. So that gives you all the other ones that are in there. Personally, I wouldn't go above this number in the gallery, because all you'll do is you'll slow it down, and people do not bother to sit and watch them go through, so I wouldn't worry about it. If you want to alter text, you literally go here, you would write your text in here, and the settings for the sizes are already predetermined, so they're standard throughout, 16 points for here, and then this is a H1. And you can always find out what text it is by literally clicking on this. That's paragraph because it hasn't changed. That's a H2. There you go, it'll show you. And if you wanted to change a H2, you literally get, you know, that's H2 now, so you go design, and then it would be here that you would alter it. So if you wanted to change it for desktop size or on a tablet or a phone, then you can here. There is a most annoying thing happening at the moment. Hopefully it will get put right eventually, but it does mean that when you use the visual builder for tablet and phone on here, it's not working properly at the moment. It's to do with the new custom headers and footers. For some unknown reason, you can't work that. If you wanted to alter this text or add to it, you go here, put your text in. I'm not clearly going to leave that text there, but if we were leaving the text, then add your text, go save, and then click on these three here and then save there. Buttons, if you wanted to add a new one or change the link, then you just literally click on the word link. Everything else you just leave as it is. If you wanted to add another button into somewhere, for argument's sake, or another text section, you can. You literally go to where you want it to go plus, and you've got two options. So you can either add a new module or you can add it from here. So if it's a button, you could just add it from there, or you can save a button from somewhere else by clicking on here. So give it a name and then you just save it. This here is deemed by a slider, and I'll show you where that is, although I'll show you the code so you can see which one it is. So literally when we get to the grid, that would be what you'd be looking for if you wanted to edit the images in this section. And this here is all determined by the footer, so I will show you that separately as well. Once you've made all your changes, you literally click there, exit here, and that's it. Once it comes back to here, you can move on to the next page. Don't be tempted to have it open in two places, so don't have the home page here open and the home page here open, or the about and the about, because you'll be tempted to save over your work and then realise that you've saved the wrong one. So only ever decide to work from one page being open. So I would leave this like this and then work here. Comments, if you're not going to get any comments because you haven't got a blog, so they're not going to be there, so don't worry about that. You haven't got any projects, but all your contact forms are called Caldera, and they are here: referral, want to win, model, and contact form. So if you want to edit any of these, or you wanted to see if any are working, then you can see the entries here in entries. Evidently there's a lot here from me and you, and if you wanted to edit it, you go here, and you literally, if you wanted to add another row in, you can hit that, bring this field down to here, and then you can choose what you want it to be. Select the field, type in there what you want it to be, and if it's not in the right place, you just literally drag it up. But as we don't need that, let's remove it, and then you just save. And the form settings, that's the short code there that you would add. So, and any message from yourself would be here as well. And to get back to the rest of the forms, they're here. And again, you can look and see entries next to here. And again, looks like we're doing the most testing. WooCommerce, you've got your head around that already, so I won't bother with that one. And products, they're here. If you have some more products to enter, what I would say is probably I would duplicate whatever's the nearest. If you've got one that's got multiple prices, then I would duplicate this gift voucher one here, because you will see it's got variations next to it. So in here, it's a variable product, so it has attributes and variations. So, and that's your attributes for it. So it's a voucher and it's got £50, £100, a £250 and £500 option. If you wanted to add another one in there that said £1,000, then you just literally do that and then save it. And then your variations, they are here, and you can add variations from all the different ones or not. And then you would just put your product picture there, and if you want to add any additional pictures, you can add those there. And then you just update and save, and you put the category that something's in. And exactly the same with the single product ones. So the single product ones, they're all a virtual product because they're a voucher. So they are simple, virtual, downloadable. And the PDF that you gave me, you add it as a file here, and you put the link, and you get the link from the media file. So you'd go and find into the media library, and you go and get the voucher code, and that's the URL that you would add in. So you've got analytics that go with your WooCommerce as well, and there's not going to be anything at the moment because nothing's happening it, but eventually there would be analytics associated with it. And there is a marketing section to do with that, but I've never actually done anything with it. But you can connect it to Facebook for WooCommerce and MailChimp for WooCommerce if you want to. It's entirely up to you, but you would need to read more about that because I honestly don't know what it is. Your install plugins. Oh, back to WooCommerce. There is a fantastic Facebook group called Advanced Woo. If you have any questions, they're a really great group, and you can ask in there, and you'll get advice. So these are all the plugins that are installed, and they're all up to date. There's nothing that's got any updates. This one here is inactive, but it needs to stay there because it's required for this one to be able to work, which is the light one, which gives the Caldera settings for your contact form and also your header and footer so that they scroll. Users, there's only yourselves on there. You can add other people. You will get people added as they buy stuff. They will come into here, but they won't be admin. They would just be like whatever the very basic person is, subscriber, I believe. This is worth doing. Going in here and filling your profile in. and put in all of this in here if you want. It is already in the SEO plugin, but you can put it into here, and you could get an avatar. I don't know if you know what an avatar is. Let me just show you. I've got mine done. It's a bit of a flap to get started, but it just goes with you wherever you go. So there's my avatar. It just shows my picture basically, and I've put some bio in there, which you don't have to do if you don't want to. It's entirely up to you. So you'd fill that in, you'd put your picture in there. If you want to change your password, you can generate a new one here, and you can say log out of everywhere else or leave yourself logged in elsewhere. It's entirely up to you. If you want to add a new user, you just go add, and you put in all of this information, and you choose what them to be. If you were adding me, you would add me as an administrator. But if you were adding somebody to write blog posts on your behalf, then they might even be a contributor, an author, or an editor. And then next we're down to tools. You probably aren't going to need any of the first ones, to be honest. In fact, you don't need any of those, so just ignore that. General settings. So this is the first one. This is your tagline that's seen. It adds everybody else as a subscriber. It tells you what your email is, and this is how your date appears. And you are on Greenwich Mean Time. If you make any changes, just save them. Then any posts or categories or anything, it automatically adds them as uncategorized, and you don't need to put that information in there. Reading. So there's nothing to touch on here. It just says that your homepage is the first page that anybody sees. You can have a read through of this and see if there's anything that you want to change. Personally, I just leave it as is. Permalinks. If you was going to do blog posts, then you might want to alter this. I've set it to post name. I'd probably leave it as that, but it's up to you. And again, always scroll to the bottom to save. Privacy. This is just saying that your privacy page is your privacy page. And I have got any 404s redirected to your homepage. So that's if somebody accidentally types something in wrong, rather than saying this page doesn't exist, they would automatically redirect to your homepage. You've got an SSL certificate. This one's for mixed content, and this one is for the certificate, but this is basically forcing everything to go over HTTPS. And I've added anti-spam B, and I'm going to change that so that if anybody did make a spam comment about Viagra or whatever, then it's gone. I do need to sort out the paid version of this with you. You've got my paid version on at the moment, so I will need to update this with yourselves next week, but there's nothing for you to change on here, but there are a few videos if you wanted to look at them, and there are a few optional chargeable things that you could do, but I wouldn't do that until we've changed it over and got you set up. The other alternative is I can send you the link and you can buy WP Rocket, and I could then put your license in, which may be best because then it will give you the link each year, and if there's any special offers you would get those direct as well. You may want to do this, you may not. I think your site's loading perfectly fine as it is, so I probably wouldn't bother. And this is your SSL for the secure padlock now. There's nothing for you to do in here either. It's all set up and working fine. Your SEO plugin is all done. So there's nothing to do here. All of this is all set up. I've just got to link it now to your Google Webmaster Tools, which I will do on Monday morning, and I will then submit your site map. So that's all done. And I have debugged it so that, let me just show you. So when you go then to share your site to Facebook, this is automatically what people will see. I'll see this picture here with this underneath. So as I say, there's nothing there. Divi Supreme, there's nothing for you to touch in there. Blog Vault backup and security, definitely nothing for you to touch in there. The only thing I would say is occasionally you might want to just look and see that this is still saying it's connected. It is. I'll tell you when your last update was done, which was today, or it's due. Yes, it's been done at 8:15, 8:18 this morning. The grid. So this is where your shop is. So if you wanted to add anything else into your shop, you can do here. And it's in source, and those are what's in there at the moment. You've got your newborn photos, they're in here. So all the different things, the homepage, etc. is all here. And to see what images are here, wait a minute, let's choose one that actually has got, is a gallery. So wait a minute, go to this one. So they're here. So you've got your wedding, your family gallery, and your general gallery, and your homepage. So to change them, you go to source, and you can add or remove from here. You can remove individuals by clicking on the X. You can remove all by doing that. And you can add images by just literally clicking on an image and adding it into there. And it will add it at the end. And then you just save any changes. And you can literally pick up an image and move it around. So literally drag and drop if you want to. And then just when you've done, you do the save again. But as I showed you on the home page, you can hover into each section where you've got a gallery and find out what the gallery is called on that particular page. So if we go to galleries here, and go to enable, and slide down a bit. If we hover into this section here, there it is. There it tells you what you've got on there. So you would just do that and then exit, save and exit. Nothing to save this time, but hey ho. Right, I don't believe we actually use any font, so I think we will go and remove that. No, we didn't. And file manager, it's just another way of accessing various plugins and stuff on your website, but don't touch it unless you know what you're doing. And then we get to the Divi stuff, which is the first one is your theme options. So that's your color here for your orange, and we've used black. We don't need any of these on here because we've put them in manually. We're not using them at any point. Oops. and everything else is as it should be on that page. Really, you don't need to be bothering or worrying about anything else within this section here. I will put your Facebook pixels and your Google Analytics into here, but as I say, there's nothing for you to do here. And my details are already in here for this to be updated as and when it needs to be updated. The header and the footer are in the theme builder. Here they are global settings. So if you alter them in one, it will alter it across the whole thing. There is actually something I want to change on here. So click that, and it's to do with the menu icon. Oh, click the same one. Well, that's weird. That's very weird. I thought I saw a different colour to your hamburger icon. No, that's weird. Okay, we'll go and look elsewhere for that, because evidently pulling the information from somewhere else. But that's where you would change anything here, and the footer is done in here. So if you wanted to update your phone number or add something in, you can literally hover onto something and duplicate it if you had another email that you wanted to put in, or if you wanted to put a different something else here, or another menu, another icon here. If you want to add another one in, you just literally click on that and you can add a fifth one in if you want to, and then you save that and save any changes. So the next one is theme customizer. So this is your site identity, and you might want to make a new favicon. It needs to be square. I just stuck the GIF voucher one in there for the time being, but I would be inclined to do a square PNG to go in there. Change that. Your typography is in here. So Playfair display is your header, Open Sans is your text, 16 pixels is your body text with a 1.7 height adjustment. Your headers are 30 pixels and the space adjustment for your headers is 2 pixels. And that's that. Nothing in background. Your buttons, they've been all set up and they're standardized, so there's nothing to touch in there. There we go, there's that hamburger. So let's change that. Nothing in color theme. Menu, this is your menu here. If you want to add a new page, you just literally go menu, main page, and then you just literally add the page from here. So if you did want to put one to win in there, and if you were going to add it on as for a certain thing, then you could, and you can remove it from in here as well. Just save it once you've done it. Nothing to do in widgets, nothing to do with homepage settings. This just gives the overall size. There's nothing really actually to do in there. So that's that. Just keep hitting the exit until you get back to here. And then that's it. Oh, the only last one is the support center. So you can check on your system status here, and it will tell you whether everything's working as it should be. If there's anything wrong, it'll have a red dot next to it. if you have a problem with your site, you can always raise a token with Elegant Themes. It is on my license. So what I would say is if you do raise a token in chat with support, that you keep the window open, because otherwise I'll get the email, which I will send to you. It's just if you want to chat to them, then just leave the window open. But I'm always available, and by all means join my private Facebook group, which you can always post in there. If I don't answer, there's always somebody that will answer, so don't worry about that. So that is basically it. That is your website in a nutshell. I do post videos as and when to my Facebook group, and I am creating a new website for myself that's got loads in. So left for me to do is Facebook pixels as soon as I can get access to that Facebook page, or you send me over the information, because I can't get into that at the moment. Let me just see whether I show you the problem I'm having, unless you've resolved it. So at the moment, if I go onto here and I go here, business manager for yours, and then go to ads manager, no, that's not it, Facebook pixels. Oh, event manager. Go here. So you can see here, I can't actually click on these. The only thing I could do is this one here, and I need to be able to click this one. So you need to give me access to that, please. Anyway, that's it. I will send this video over to